Now, they'll tell you that bone broth isn't a good thing to drink 24/7. I tell you they're wrong. These are the same people putting fluoride in your water, chemtrails in your air, and you're going to trust them over me. Absolutely laughable. Hillary Clinton is a goddamn demon.
You really do the voice well. Like, if I close my eyes, it's Alex Jones is whispering sweet nothing.
She's a telepathic vampire. Isn't that what he said? A telepathic space vampire, soul-sucking vampire or something?
The lizard people actually exist. And you're just like, where did we jump to this point? Like, how did we get here?
What if there are lizard people?
Globalists, the Eagles, are trying to take over our society, and you should be able to eat as many crickets as you want. That's as many bugs, anything as you want. I like the ladybugs because I find that it gives a nice red tint to my feathers. That's what I prefer. But these motherfuckers, they tell you to eat grub worms. They tell you to eat grub worms. I tell you this, I ate a couple grub worms. I started feeling a little gay. I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying I'm just asking questions.
Come back and like he's gonna be like, guys, it was all about not liking gay people.
It's like, I just don't like penis.
Yeah.
Right?
I
You do whatever you want.
No, it's their problem. I wouldn't have made myself gay.
And everyone behind, and he's wearing a crown of emeralds. That's the worst part. He's wearing the crown of emeralds.
Like, yeah, we got so many of these. If you just dig a little deeper, it's all emeralds down there.
Well, Johansson told you, burn the gays, you get your emeralds. What are you people doing?
Why did they become Italian from?
Well,
What are you doing? Hey,
Fucking Jesus here.
I'm discriminating here.
I'm walking on water here.
I don't know. Imagine them in Rome for some reason.
Oh. Now they try and you. I don't know what you're talking about. I had 2 loaves and 5 fishes. I don't know why you're saying that. You're saying that 15 trucks worth of loaves and fishes gone missing. I made this out of 2. I don't know what you're talking about, officer. You can talk to Pontius Pilate if you feel so inclined, but things might go poorly for you. That's the way it would go. You know, Italian Jesus robbing the Romans to pay himself.
An American Italian Pope is what we're talking about.
Having not been to church in 10 years, like as he was given the sermon on Easter and all that, I was just like, oh yeah, I know what he's gonna say next. I know the plan. I know what you're gonna say. I know.
Do you have the rectifier?
You're coming in next. Yeah.
Can your financial institution find the way into my pocket?
I am tax exempt. Yeah.
That's what he does, the 360s with his hands there.
The Democrats would get smashed, but I would vote for this policy if they were like, you know what? Churches are for-profit businesses. They sell bullshit for cash. You can tax that. I'd be so on board.
Or
and the whole reason they don't do it is because they're like,
as to what can be considered a church. Because if this little organization here could be considered a church, then keep it up.
This ties in to something I wrote down on my topic sheet for the evening. Is that the Satanic Church just achieved tax exemption from the U.S. government. And if they can do it, why can't we? Why can't we make the case that we're preaching our own word?
Do you believe that Kyle would like another car?
Do you believe that Taylor wants his mortgage paid off? Do you believe it?
There's no early payoff penalty. That's right. No penalty. Can you feel the power? Can you
feel the no early payment penalty? Can you feel it?
That's because it ain't there.
Can you feel my financial security improving with every dollar you drop in that plate? Can you feel it? I can feel it. Do you feel it, sir? Are you feeling the Lord in you? Are you feeling the Lord in you? That's the way you would do it to manipulate, especially, is you would call out individual people, put them on the spot. Yes. They'll either have to fake it or not fake it.
Every dollar you give to PKA is 2 more in your pocket. That's right. Woo! It'll come right back to you.
Every dollar you give, you get a bottle of holy water. Now you pour that holy water all over your bills and you throw those bills away because those collectors, they ain't coming. They ain't coming. No, this is literally a thing. I think it was like something Popov was his last name. He was this scam artist piece of fucking shit who took advantage of people who just wanted a better life for themselves. And he would sell people holy water.
Yep.
And then he would have testimonials where it was someone like, I ordered Jimmy Popoff's holy water and all my bills disappeared. They started sending me checks in the mail instead. All my power's free now. And like literally that level of lies and duplicitousness with these pastors. Like what these people do isn't just not Christian, it's fucking evil. Those pastors out there, if Christianity is real, guess what? You're burning in the lowest depths of hell. The lowest depths. You're a false prophet. You're a piece of human shit.
That's how I feel about
anyone.
Policemen that rape and like do bad shit too. Like
luckily all this shit's made up. So buy Kyle's miracle water today.
It may say Dasani, but it's got the word of the Lord.
It's just you don't even repackage it.
It's just Dasani.
Are you cursed with pepperoni nipples so large and disgusting you can't bear to look at them? You just put a little Kyle's miracle Dasani on them big old nasty nipples and they'll shrink down and be sexy.
I am not part of that. I have nothing to do with that.
That's right. What is not attached to the big pepperoni nipples?
Do you have a 3.5-inch dick hard? Well, then why don't you try fucking a bottle of Dasani holy water? Your dick will get so big it'll get stuck in the bottle, so pull it out quick. Oh, Lord, I feel the dick growing energy inside of it. The Lord your God, Jesus Christ, had the biggest penis the world has ever seen.
Your dick would get stuck in the bottle if it worked. You'd have a real problem on your hands.
That's how you know it worked.
Well, that's part of the joke.
That's right.
That's right. I want to keep doing pastor voice.
Oh, your dick will be so big and your nipples so tiny, you won't believe your eyes.
Does your bitch have some big ass nipples? Put your hand up. Put your hand up if your bitch has a big ass nipple. I see a lot of hands. I see a lot of hands in the house tonight. You want some Dasani holy water? Get those nipples little. Say, Lord, give me those little nipples. Lord, give me those little nipples.
Give it to me, Lord. Itty bitty nipples, itty bitty nipples, give them to me, Lord.
Ghost nipples, itty bitty ghost nipples.
Woo! Ghost nipples in the house, Lord. I feel the power of the Holy Ghost.
No, these are Holy Ghost nipples.
Oh, that's so dumb.
I don't care if it hurts your feelings.
Let's get Woody's dad on the show about our interpretation of this epistemology.
Scottish people
wait, who's a shillelagh? Is that that's Irish, right?
Yeah,
a shillelagh, those hammers, those like clubs. You know what those are?
What a shillelagh is?
Yeah,
I know
shillelagh is a club that like they would use to punish people for not drinking enough.
Hey,
yeah.
I don't know what. I know you're pregnant. Have another one.
Noon on a Monday. Sober are we?
Look at your wife. Not a black eye on her face.
Tradition when he beat up that old man at the bar.
Regardless, your choice, but those brain cells are dying.
They come by. They notice that your wife doesn't have any bruises. Yeah, something looks amiss.
Why aren't your kids crying?
I raised my hand and your wife didn't flinch.
9 children in your mid-30s. What are you, celibate? Like,
what an awful group of people.
Didn't you find out you were Irish?
Oh yeah. Like mostly English, honestly, like the fancy kind. But
fancy con. What's the fancy con of English?
Just from the fancier part of England. I'm just thinking of guys of like in the UK in particular, how like it seems like you can be on this street and have a huge rivalry with the completely different class of people who are a street down the road. Oh, those are North Welsh villains. Those dirty scoundrels. Don't even wash their arses.
You're from East Nottinghamshire. Like, I'm from southeast Nottinghamshire.
Now it's time to stab each other over football.
like you got to get glassed in the face. Like Americans don't even know what that means to get glassed in the face.
Faroes and Greenlandic, but a large majority, 86% of the Danes also speak English. So that's good.
Imagine being someone who only speaks Greenlandic, just traipsing around the world, having to be like, "Guten Tag, no, nobody anywhere is even trying to listen to me. Oh,
Guten Tag,
no, nothing. Like, says he's definitely trying. He's got one Twitter account he follows to help translate the world. You know, Greenlandic to everything. I liked Foghorn Leghorn.
The Pew. Oh, Foghorn Leghorn is one of my favorites.
I see. Everybody does impressions of him, and none of them are any good.
Nope. That pussy in the leotard is not gonna fuck with that 6'3" Canadian fucker who's got no teeth in his head. Like, it's just he's a more physical.
I'm not trying
guy.
to start anything, but I'm not going to back down if it comes up. You better believe that.
Oh my God, you're from Sydney, Australia. Jennifer, come over here. He's from fucking Sydney, dude. Oh my God. What's it like over there? And it's like that would not be.
Yeah.
Everything is not good. It's very bad.
I really fooled you to think I was from Akron, Ohio as I come in, no? Like, I've been practicing. Like,
you both do it well.
Now, a lot of people might think it's odd for an old school Republican Alabama governor to just go off reading his own romantic fan fiction to his lessons in the office. Just because it was said does not mean that it was done. You understand? It's a way that I get off, so to speak.
And
I wanted to vote for Rubio, but it turns out he's just a boy. Mm-hmm.
Jesus, make it stop. The whole thing about being involuntarily.
They tell me that there are drugs in it, and then I try. I ask, "Are there drugs?" And they say yes, and so I have, and I end up high. They drug me.
You're like,
that is the way we Danes are. They're very trusting in people.
My dad was naked all the time, but they were all
like they're
boys.
talking amongst each other. Like, do you think he's actually going to believe that we're not just Swedish pedophiles? Oh, these Americans, they believe anything about culture and what we say. They try to be progressive, so they'll think it's all right. That's exactly what it was. They're walking. I can't believe he's just letting us walk around his kids with our cocks out.
Why don't we call their local constabulary and have them send whatever they do? Some guy with a cup of tea and a
rap on the door.
Baton. Yes.
They'll rap on the door with a baton and, "Excuse me, sir, I know that it's almost tea time, but if it's not too much bother, could you produce all the members of your family?"
So we've been led to
they're all
believe there's
there.
a bit of mischief going on in there. Can't open? No. All right, we'll call the real cops then. How would you like that? It was probably 5 years after they kind of wanted him to leave, but nobody had the heart to tell old Ben that he couldn't come back. And he was the guy at the table where Washington's like, "So it's settled. We're with the Eagle now." He's like, "What? The Eagle, Mr. Franklin." "Oh, no, it's the turkey. I can see where we need to. The British know and fear the turkey." It's like, he's lost it. He's lost it. These imperialist gobblers know not where to stop. They are overreaching each and every day with their long red dangling chins. Areas to make real delicacies, and before they know it, and maybe not even stuff to make real delicacies. I could just drop in a fucking pallet of Reese's peanut butter cups, and in 20 minutes, all of Kenya is going to be like, "I do not think anyone in this nation will ever eat spiders ever again." I had no idea that peanut butter and chocolate together were so much better than woodland creatures crawling on the ground that we dried and then eat as a treat.
Do you think he would come back and be really angry and talk like and be like, "I brought you all these things and you didn't decide to take care of it. Why would you do this? I brought all these things. You didn't do what I wanted you to do." And Kyle, of course,
think Jesus is Irish in this scenario.
Jesus is just trying to care about what you're doing. Jesus loves you. Jesus is your best friend.
Does Jesus drink Guinness?
Jesus drinks whatever the fuck he wants. I
thought as soon as I saw that is the faceless, nameless band of Mexican women who had to sit in a dark basement at the last second as McGregor said, oh yeah, I want a 3-piece suit for my baby, and I want it now. And they said, and so they, they grabbed the only people that can work at 2 a.m. when he's drunk tweeting or whatever. And these poor women have to sit there all night working finger to the bone, trying to make it. Oh, why are you have to stay at work so long tonight, sweetheart? We are going to celebrate our daughter's quinceañera. Oh, McGregor wants something. We must obey. Like that kind of shit. You know who he would have been a great?
No.
The Red Viper, Oberyn Martell.
No,
dancing
God,
around with the mountain and there. You'll do nothing. Oh, you'll do nothing. Oh, you'll step up to me and you'll get a real taste of this Irish fucking like that kind of shit is what he would do. Oh, you raped my sister. Oh, and you're going to pay for it. Oh, you betcha. I got 2 belts. 2 belts not for nothing. I'm about to take a third. It's even in my weight class.
I wish I could do accents.
To be clear, it ate through the intestine and continued on within his body cavity.
It sounds better than keto in terms of weight loss.
And the way that it's written in the article makes it seem like the guy showed up and was like, oh, my stomach. And they're like, what's wrong? He's like, it could be anything. and then they got him into surgery.
I ate a bad cook pound chicken last night. And I also shove an eel in my ass.
No, but he didn't tell him. He just got down there and they're like, oh my God, they cut it open. They find a 50-centimeter eel in his stomach cavity just swimming around. And he has to what do you even? I knew that I undercooked something last
night. Which, by the way, if you happen to watch this, Julie, I didn't think Taylor's Chinese accent was funny. I thought it was inappropriate. No disrespect to your people. Yeah. Anyways, now that that's handled,
apologize to her in her native way. The bowing and all.
So sorry. So sorry. So sorry.
If Google's ever like, you know what, YouTube's a losing thing, we're just close down all of the servers. Like, the federal government would have to jump in. They're too big to fail. That catalog of information benefits.
I had a lot of compilations of myself, both musical and favorited on my account. I don't care if you bring the rest of YouTube back. Just send me those videos. This is an executive order.
The initial Olympics, we decided to just do the skiing portion of it, but we lost too many participants to bear attacks. So we've decided to add shooting to it. More as a precaution, a safety measure for those participating. Then we harbor no ill will towards the bears. They're just trying to eat. Like, that's how I imagine the Norwegian handling it. Yeah, they're about exhibition matches in Japan, which is what's fun to watch on YouTube. All those exhibition, oh, this guy is 600 pounds fighting 7 midgets. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? 7 midgets for the sumo wrestler? She slaps stuff out of your hand. You get the cholera if you do not boil first. No, you won't. It's fine. I got Brita. A burrito? Yeah. What do you say afterward? I have never encountered energy like that before. I thought I was the best.
And you're like, fuck, the animation can't even keep up. It's just black and white scribbles at this point.
They do. That's
moving around.
This episode is due Monday. Oh, fuck.
Bernie Sanders brought in a tweet this big. It was 4 feet wide from Trump, where he said that I guess he was going to save Medicare or something.
I couldn't figure out how to screenshot the tweet. I had my young grandson bring in the entire thing. I had difficulty reading. He printed it out on a standard 8.5 by 11, and I said, "Son, I can't read this. Go get it big." So went out to Kinko's for me. I struggled on the bus on the way here with it.
No.
Hey, Abdul, you want to stop defusing mines for a living?
Hey, have you ever seen any of my movies? I pick a rubber and lose a hand. I do not bring a daily quota. Oh, so you haven't seen my films? Because we're gonna have a whole thing. Honestly, can we go back to the rubber plant?
Tomb Raider is gonna blow your mind, Abdul. Let's go. Come on, hop in the jet.
And it wasn't like a guy who paid to go there. It was like an African guy, a guide, who just got dragged down. His face is just saucers his eyes as he's like, "Oh well, I had a good run. I helped
I help my country as much as I can, and it turns out, in the end, I am a literal sacrifice for the gorilla. A wonderful creature. Like,
the enemy
the Congolese are like surprised at Ireland because they don't know anything about it. Like, I do not know where Ireland is, but it must be a terrible place. Do you think he went home that night, or he's going home tonight, and his wife's like, "Oh, Pablo, how are you today? Good day at work?" It's like, "I'm never been more thankful to not fully understand the language here." I could only see the tears welling in the eyes of Jacob, my good work friend, as this savage in a massive house, I guess, dealer. It's why I say, God, of course, I say nothing because this is a powerful man. We think we have run of the place. Just not use the side door. No, he flies in. He knows.
Remember when he jog on into a Mickey D's and get himself a burger?
That was great. Now that I think was not for show. He's out there running, trying to lose weight.
Hungry.
He duck in, grab a cheeseburger.
That was him trying.
Peckish, boy. We're gonna have to duck on into Mickey D's.
Yeah. Oh god.
Get me through another night with that horrible bitch. You know.
Don't tell her about this.
Little MSG. Oh,
I'm not running for my health. I'm just running away.
But on the other shoulder, being ignored was, "Hey, maybe you should go up to Michigan and see if they're interested." It's like in the middle of the campaign, there was a clip from last year on the Opie and Jim show where I thought it was going to be like a bit where they're like, "We got Donald Trump calling in." And I was listening to it on YouTube and I'm like, "Oh, I bet that Donald Trump's going to call in as he's running for president." And then they answer it and it's just this radio show. They're like, "Donald, how you doing?" He's like, "Hey, how you guys doing this morning?" It's in the middle of a huge campaign.
Or it's just like, here's your salt and pepper shakers and all your soups and everything. Do you have any MSG? I love to smell everything I have with MSG on it. On my plate especially.
That's a good impression.
Talk to a lot of smart people, a lot of good people. They say all the best thing comes in twos. That's judicial, that's executive. I'm tired of legislative. No more of that branch. We're going all judicial, all executive. I'm choosing all the judges. I have
because
a lot of
it always
sex toys. I have the best sex toys.
He's going to be consulting Ivanka.
A lot of them are Russian, actually.
A good comparison is, have you ever watched cricket videos on YouTube, the sport cricket, where they're like, "Oh, and it's coming in fast here. The Wickersham knocked into shambles there. You can see the third runner scoring on the second plate. Oh, of course, over here we see Samson. Samson's renowned for running into plate 3. Right? Of course he makes." And it's like, what in God's name is fucking happening?
Like, damn.
Yep. What Germany would actually do is they'd probably be like, "Actually, all the refugees in your shop, can you hear me? You're actually all moving to France. Yes, immediately on the train. But don't, oh, they haven't read it. Okay. Phrasing it as they've been getting beaten up on, I think, is an unfair representation of the wars that they started.
They have been targeted!
We are tired of being victimized. You know that story of the Olympian who threw like the super heavy discus and then went to the Olympics and realized they threw lighter discus. And so he just dominated. This guy is the version. That was like in the early 1900s. Like a guy from a different country was like, "I get very good with the discus," and like whatever. And he threw this iron discus and he got there and they're like, "Here's your discus, Sergey." And he's like, "Oh, this is going to go well for Sergey."
He looks at least 52. Like 52 is like the bottom.
Well, in olden days, Tucker, people actually aged faster. That's the natural way that people are meant to age. When you drink bone broth, it actually accelerates your aging, and you hit your peak. Your peak. Lots of people believe your peak's late 20s. Real peak, right human peak. Human peak is late 40s. Reason being is that people who survive that long are strong. They're thick. They're red. They're red people. You know.
They make the toothpaste taste like semen now.
They want you to think that this dirt is coming from some sort of special area of dirt. This is not the dirt you think you're paying for, people. I can tell you that right now. If you want an actual dirt pill that'll help you and your family out, you need to go to infowars.com/dirt pills for your kids and get those. It's the finest dirt in my Texas home.
But that's what I'm saying. Alex Jones, while actually having a negative impact on the world in his serious thing,
debatable.
Right. He's like the type of guy that I would love to sit down in my own personal area and get him fucking blasted. Just so all the 9 other people could just be crying at all the shit he's coming at. He's like, but have you heard about the doctors and what they're doing to us? It's like, no, Alex, what are they doing to us? What are the doctors doing?
I ordered 4 fetus heads off the internet and I received them. I can't show them to you. That's illegal. But I rest assured they arrived. They arrived at my place of residence. You know, it's like, settle down, Alex. You know,
so are you thinking what I'm thinking? I would love to have Alex Jones hosting a backyard bum fight, right? Like all these competitors are on bone broth. Have all these hobos out there flexing, chugging down some bone broth, and then they fight. But they're of course they have to drink 32 ounces of bone broth before they enter.
Actually in my league there would be no bone broth allowed. It is so potent, so effective. It would make each match into a death match. You need to have a strict no bone broth rule with this.
What about cricket protein?
I don't enjoy sports that aren't American.
I ended on that note. I love the wordplay.
That was the best shit I've ever heard.
Flight Lieutenant Mugumbo, who created that helicopter. Flight Lieutenant Mugumbe.
Honestly, like this would be a lot more impressive invention from him instead of like welding heavy steel plates together onto a shopping cart frame.
I love it's like a shopping cart, some stolen street signs, and a license plate. And he made something plane shaped.
And you have flown this up before, haven't you? And he's like, yes, we have done this up before. So basically, what we're talking about, Sarge, is that there's this guy in Zimbabwe from many, many years ago who claimed to have a functional helicopter. And then like when the news came, it's so obviously like a bunch of welded heavy iron plates like that would go in a tank. And then like a terrible little wind rotor. There's no window in the front. And he just keeps lying. And I think, Kyle, you've watched the video too. Do you think that reporter is fucking with him?
Yes,
the whole
100,000%.
Yeah.
First of all, there's no way someone who is is a real journalist and they see this guy and they're like, this guy knows his business. This guy has clearly invented a helicopter in Zimbabwe. Like he's wearing a bicycle helmet where he's painted that red shit on.
He just got shot out of a cannon.
Yeah, he looks like this guy gets shot out of a cannon.
And this guy's just, and like the reporter's like, and you tell us you've brought this up before. He's like, yes, we have brought these up before and flown like 10 feet in the air for a distance of 6 feet. And it was like, there is no way you've done this. And there's like other people in Zimbabwe standing around. And like, that guy is trolling him so hard because in the intro of the segment, before you even see this guy, he plays it up like, for so long, Zimbabwe has fallen behind in the world aviation race. And now
we're catching up.
Change. All of this will change with Roberto Magumbe. Let's take a look. And then they get over there and it's just a dirt parking lot.
Those rotors have zero lift capacity. Those 2x4s, like zero.
Facing the wrong way.
In the Opie and Anthony clip, it's been so slow that Jim goes, I could stand on the hood and jump over it. Every time it comes, it's like a slow
literally spinning at like 5 RPM or something like that. Like they're just barely going.
And then it just ends. It's like clear. It doesn't even move forward. There's no. What engine was in there? Fucking like a bunch of car.
There was no engine. There was like no engine.
The same engine Fred Flintstone used.
I think it was literally like rubber bands. So he had to like turn it the opposite direction a bunch of times to wind it up and then let go.
Just so that's how I want to fly.
It's sitting on like a shopping cart's undercarriage.
Yeah, and you see it. It's like if it did fly and land, everyone involved is dead. Because it's going to hit the ground like a meteor. And that shopping cart is going to come right up into your asshole and tear you apart.
I got to say, it is well made.
It's funny.
Like if you and I set out to make a helicopter in my like shop, even if we had like all the proper tools, like I've got a MIG welder and I got supplies, it wouldn't look like this. That windshield fits.
We should give that a go. That can be the next PKA challenge. Build your own helicopter with only tools that Magumbe had access to.
Oh God! Well, that's not fair at all. I gotta use
no, we have to take advantage of your giant.
I love his tools. Dude. Is that not like a great like silly Halloween costume though? Like nobody would get it, but like it would be such an inside joke of a Halloween costume to dress up as Flight Lieutenant Mugumbe.
Zibunde. Yeah, and then he would, yeah, like that like one person, if you're out at a big party, would be like, Zibunde? You'd be like, yeah, you got it.
I love it. I mean, the blackface is a little much, but I love
it. I would just want to know what's with the red dot on the helmet.
I don't know.
What is it? Is it a Japan thing? Yeah, for laser targeting.
I mean, it is, but like, why would he? Like,
yeah, he's not in Japan, and Japan is white with the red, not the yellow. And if he's gonna do the dot, he should have got like a round sticker or something, because he just painted that.
Clearly, like,
yeah, and it was hand painted. It wasn't even stenciled. It's like, this is close enough.
Yeah, you can see the painting of the red stripes behind him on the left,
and it's clearly brushed.
It's clearly brushed, and not carefully.
Oh, not carefully at all. They slapped that hard.
I could be wrong. I saw it as
like look at the margins between like the yellow and red stripe on the left, and you can see like brush marks. Like it looks like he painted it like a fucking fence in his yard.
To my eye, he just held the spray paint aerosol can on his forehead and went.
Oh, on his forehead. Yeah, I'm talking about on the chopper. Like.
Yes,
he's got like a yellow stripe between the two reds. Yeah, it's great. It's one of the funniest bits ever.
It's hilarious on O&M.
I think you got to give some credit to this gentleman, because clearly he's in on the joke. It's his joke. Yeah, it's his joke.
Oh yeah. And I just linked the video. We can't watch it on there, but if you go to like 6 minutes, you will see them panning down the length of this, and it is the heaviest metal I've ever seen nailed to even heavier metal. Like it's unbelievable.
Nailed. Terrible. And he's written on it with like not stenciling, like who did the electronics, the coach works, the finance, the administration, and it's all him. It's like
who could have financed this? that pedophile Woody was talking to in the 70s. He could have used all his quarters to finance this.
That was probably the 80s.
It's got the names here: the mechanic, the technician, the engineer, the designer, the electronics, the coach.
I'm watching the prop go. It's like it's something from a carnival,
The guy who does sales, simply known as Mayo.
It's awful. It's so awful. I just realized the side windows, because it has side windows, are clearly from an automobile. And the best part is they've painted over the glass so it gives no visibility out of it.
Yeah, there's a big.
They thought painting a big eye on the glass would be a good idea.
It's a good move.
Oh, and the report, like, this is a comedy bit, dude. This reporter looks like somebody right out of Monty Python's bit. Like he's got a mullet.
Well, he's dressed like a pretend director. He's got the the mullet and the ponytail. He's showing him pictures out of a book of other helicopters that fly.
You know what I'm starting to think? That maybe the reporter is the mastermind, and he just hired this guy to like dress up like this and sit in front of something he made.
Maybe. Either way, it's so fucking funny.
I'm starting to think, because the reporter is so slick with his like little jabs and jokes, I'm thinking he's the mastermind behind this whole thing.
I mean, if this guy, Flight Lieutenant Zibunde, is truly in on it, then he is playing the part to perfection.
So to Kyle's point, primarily Egypt, Syria, and Jordan.
Okay.
3 powerhouses.
I mean, again,
I've heard of Egypt. No, I've heard of
Egypt. You know what? I've heard Egypt is in their heyday right now. Like, it certainly wasn't. Dude, that would suck to be born in a country and be like, I mean, we can look back and be like, America's like, we were at our peak, like right after World War II. Nobody could fucking touch us in anything. Like, imagine being Egyptian right now. And it'd be like, oh, don't come at me 7,000 years ago.
You don't even know.
Before the Romans with their newfangled technologies bullied us and all that, we were a big deal.
Library of Alexandria.
This is.
Somebody shoot him in the kneecap is right away. Yeah, that won't work. Yeah.
He was coming at me with a scary ball. Dude, I saw could have been anything in there.
That's how our cops are too. I saw LAPD. If you go to police activity, wonderful channel. I saw dude went at these 2 cops with a paint roller and they shot him. It's a paint roller. If Woody had a hold of the reins of this war,
exactly,
we'd have been in Moscow. We've been in Moscow last winter.
Those M&Ms.
And I'm a pretty good technician, strategist. I've been watching YouTube videos since it started.
Strategist.
Strategist. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I'm pretty sure George Bush used the word strategery.
strategery.
I'm like 85% sure he said that out loud.
I think you're right.
I'm just
strategist.
I'm just
I was going for.
I think he's a
silly person.
I'm not denying.
I'm certainly not
I don't know what I said.
Certainly not a war criminal. The one that mistakes common words like me. Hell no. No way. I like baseball and
charming
bombing people. I mean, baseball.
Oh, he made so much, like, he got a lot of traction and goodwill based on the idea he'd be nice at a barbecue.
But whatever happens is going to happen, and it would continue to happen if we were entirely disconnected from these world-away conflicts that don't serve our interests.
Now who's got a problem with geopolitics? All right. Do you really want the Ruskies to slide in there and be Israel's friend and arm them and move their missiles into that area?
Yes, giving Russian a white elephant to take care of for the rest of their time.
Yeah,
they've already got one. They've got a
drain on.
You want to cause a problem for Russia financially? Make them fund Israel.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, wait! This gets better. We can have them fund both sides.
Putin, we have been doing pretty good with the numbers accounting wise on this war, but we are 6 hours into supporting Israel and we're running low.
Dude, that doc is the worst.
No, it's the weirdest thing. Like, I gave him the money and then he's like, thanks, fuck you, I'm doing what I want. It is the wildest negotiation. I tell you, these people really are good. I left there thanking him. My God. Yeah. I don't want anything to do with the Middle East. It's for the birds.
Nobody wants you to go, luckily.
I just have to pay for it.
I'd go. Wouldn't you?
No, you wouldn't.
They want you to go. Aren't you ready?
No.
You wouldn't answer the call. And also, like, their military industrial base was intermixed with. It's not like they had this big factory over here and like, oh yeah, that's the fucking Mitsubishi factory. That's where all the bombers come from, and it's all on the outskirts of the city in its big square building. They had all these workshops like mixed into there weren't districts as much as everything was just sort of mixed together. So there would be a house here, and next to it there'd be a shop that was making wheels for airplanes, and then next to that there'd be another house, and then checker patterned everywhere. So they just burnt it all.
To your point, some stuff has a lot of purposes. I watched the airplane show. I can't remember the name of ever. The Way We Were. I don't know. Did he put it out shortly ago? Anyway, they were doing bombs, and they're going after ball bearing factories. And they said, you know what? The war runs on ball bearings. Yeah, so do bicycles and strollers, but I can still acknowledge how you'd call it a military target.
Dude, and the Japanese were going to fight.
The scariest thing to live next to if it's getting blown up. A ball bearing factory? Like, it's just a whole factory claymore. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that.
That is a problem.
Yeah.
And the Japanese were going to fight man, woman.
Well, just another horrible day at the ball bearing factory. How could this get any worse? Oh no!
Did bombs really make that whistle sound? Is that a real?
Yeah,
thing?
we talked about this. They put whistles on the bombs to scare people.
Probably not like a nuclear bomb.
Let's remember that.
I imagine that is.
Well, that
scary
the whistle is being for small.
That one blew up at altitude anyway, so they wouldn't have heard it coming in.
Did Japan hold a grudge for that long at all? I bet they did, but like I feel like they got Tokyo firebombed and they took like 3 days off, and they're like, "Well, let's rebuild."
They got right to rebuilding. It's crazy.
Then America came in with a plan on how to rebuild their economy, and they're like, "Yeah, we trust you. You're pretty good at economics."
They're like, "Oh,
followed it.
You guys are the ones with the bombs." They
kind of followed it. They tried to. They almost went communist. I think in the 60s there was a big movement, and that's when you've got that. You've probably seen the video, but maybe not known the whole context of when there's a Japanese man speaking on stage, and some dude runs at him with a. I don't know what the word. It's called like a wazakishi or something. It's the short sword that they carry. You know, the samurai carry two swords. The little one. He runs on stage with the little one and kills the fucking communist speaker on stage live on Japanese television. Everybody was watching, and that kind of put an end to the Japanese Communist Party.
It's like an iconic picture. The commie politician is like, "Ooh, don't stab me." Ooh. And then
the other guy's like, "I'm gonna stab you."
Well, I came here for one purpose. It was to stab your pinko ass.
Pretty much.
Mongolia is a pretty country. That would be if I wanted to travel to Asia. Japan would be neat because of how many people there are and all their cool vending machines and technology. And then Mongolia seems almost like untouched.
Taylor,
There's only
they'll
like
mail
4
used
million
panties right to you. You don't have to go to Japan to find a vending machine.
No, I do.
Okay.
I have to go. It's probably like it's like seafood on the coast. It's just better. Like that's what you get. You get fresh Japanese panties right out of the vending machine, and then afterward you get yourself a Sprite Zero Chill.
I struggled with the exchange rate in Japan. I should have just put a minute into it so that I knew how much I was spending all along. But the exchange rate is like 33,000 to 1 or 16,000 to 1. I don't know. It's something you don't bump into all the time. So you get your bill for like hotel omelet and it's 66,000 yen. And you're like, I don't know. I haven't paid 66,000 anything for a while. Is this even a lot? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It was.
It was still was. That's a funny like realization in the lobby where they're like, "Oh no, sir, yeah, exchange rate is 8,000 yen to $1," and you're like, "Oh, these are some expensive eggs." Like
$37 for the buffet down.
Is that 2 eggs? This is 2, right? Oh my! I remember
Japanese eggs.
Poor Donald. I hope he's okay tonight. I hope he's with his loved ones and his family.
I bet he's having a bad night.
Son.
I bet it looks like a Coca-Cola commercial from the 1930s. They're all gathered around the fire. He's sitting in his big armchair. Little children are, gathered around on the floor by his feet. Little Donald Jr. and Eric and Tiffany and what's the hot one called?
Ivanka. I always mix it up.
Ivanka.
Ivanka.
Probably with a K. The hot one. Yes. Oh,
yeah.
Jared Kushner's over there on the phone with Israel.
Fuck, perfect opportunity. When you said the hot one, I should have said Eric. Like the ugly one of the
Eric, the actual hot one's Baron.
I can imagine Trump being like, he's like, "This is a terrible time. I need my family around." Eric, just the other room. Yeah, it's fine.
And everybody's
fun. There should not be anti-bullying legislation for our elected officials. They should have to, get in the fucking dirt. Have you
do
seen
it the British way?
Yeah, the British, they'll be like, I say that's an interesting financial policy from an avowed pedophile. And they'll be like, I say, wasn't your grandfather a Nazi collaborator? I'm just speaking openly here. Well, that is what we're doing, isn't it? Like,
take off your again, are you?
Yeah, she sells T-shirts that say "Bleach blonde, bad butch body." I messed it up, but yeah. Bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Yeah, there's T-shirts you can buy. She
trademarked that shit right away.
I like a little bit of alliteration or assonance.
It's a tongue twister. I was shocked she got it out so smoothly, and she did have some big old fake eyelashes.
She's a pretty good speaker.
Yeah, it's kind of what she does for a living. And but it was funny to see like the old white guys be like, what now?
they're like the white guys in the beginning of like late 90s rap videos. Were like, "Hey, hold on, what's going on here?"
literally that.
I want to be right next to Chris Christie, next to him,
in front of him.
I hang out with. That's the only way I would join the Senate.
He's so sweaty.
Right next to Christie.
That's a man who never leaves the house without a sweat towel. Like he's always he's always got that towel boxers have around their neck. He's
somehow he hoodwinked New Jersey multiple times. They're like, "Governor Christie, what are we gonna do about the salted meat shortage?" And he's like, I don't know, but it's a problem that's affecting us all. And he's saying that all the crabs in the bay are being eaten. That's a problem that America's facing at this time.
What if
Jersey's got a lot of Republican governors, like more than you'd guess for such a blue state. I think Christie, Whitman, and there's others. I'm lost.
He's been using
all fat
campaign funds to buy blue shell crap.
Yeah, we look at Chris Christie's investment portfolios, and it's like, Red Lobster, Little Debbie's. He's got his retirement in Entenmann's because he's fat.
I saw some photos of black fighters who were fighting for Russia from like Africa and the Middle East and stuff like that, and it's so weird to me.
Some mercenaries.
Yeah. It's professional army men or whatever. But to see black people fighting in Russia for Ukraine or in Ukraine for Russia, that's so weird.
Mm.
Why?
It seems like a real mistake too. Because here's my
just a mercenary group. They'll probably fight for anyone, right?
Yeah, but this isn't your fucking ecosystem. I feel like if I'm a Ukrainian, Slava Ukraine, and then there's some Ruskies over there, and we wipe them out, and we see one of them's like, please, my name's Pyotr, please, no. I'm like, your language is so close to mine. I know what you just fucking said. All right, fucking crawl over here. Don't you move. But if like a black dude pops up, no, I'm not taking him. He's getting it. Let me tell you why.
Because he's black? Yeah.
No, not because he's black. Because he came here from somewhere that's got nothing.
Because he's statistically less likely to graduate high school. I see where you're coming from.
He had nothing to do with this shit. Like the Russian guy, all right, you got pressed into service. Your country is attacking my country. Your president ordered you. Your people are counting on you, etc. This black dude who came here from Nigeria or fucking Somalia or somewhere like that.
Kill me for a paycheck.
You're here for a check.
Dude, a guy from Somalia who showed up to fight there would like be in the war zone and he'd be like, this place is pretty nice. Look at that. There is a building standing right there.
Hideous country, no more.
Taking my picture.
Take my picture. Oh my goodness. We're going to get a picture of me next to the building. They have enough help as it is.
PKA lube. I mean, we kind of have done a lube. It's just after you need it.
Dude, is that what people want? My face on a lube container next to them?
Yes, it is. It's what I want.
Taylor's old-timey sexual fantabulous lubrication device.
You fought for the cum splatters on the bottle of the lock and load. What would you fight for on the lube?
I would fight to make sure that, unlike this bottle, that our presence was almost entirely minimized. The official lube of we'd have to just partner with Wet Platinum or someone like that.
No, I want something like Crisco based.
We can do better than Wet Platinum.
Crisco?
Yeah, I want like a pomade type substance that you get for like serious, like a fisting cream.
No, the internet keeps telling me seed oils are poison now.
Seed oils are poison.
That's what they're saying online.
I was watching this thing about they were trying to send a probe to Mercury because they'd only ever sent two, and both of them just did these quick flybys. And what you want is to get the thing to go around and around Mercury so you can test and photo and map and stuff. But it has to be going so goddamn fast when it gets there that decelerating is a problem because they're traveling in toward the sun and it's so far away. So they didn't know what to do. And this Chinese lady, or her name was Chinese, at NASA, came up with this. Her name's like Pung Ting Tao came up with this idea that where you wouldn't just go straight for Mercury, you would go around the sun and back to Earth, and like this huge pattern that took 7 years from 2004 to 2011, where it went around multiple planets and using each of them to slow itself a little bit so that when it finally got to Mercury, it would be slow enough to go into an orbit. And I was fascinated by her coming up with that idea and how
you should have just shot it a little slower.
My dumbass idea is to approach it while it's going away from you, right? Because it's the relative velocity of the missile to the planet that matters, right? So we just catch the planet when it's coming away from us. And
what would suck is if like they launch that and 3 days later, Xi Jinping comes up and he's like, I come up with even better idea. That not take 7 years. It take 2 months. And they're like,
Taylor, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Tell me about your African Uber driver.
Oh yeah. This was like 2 months ago now that I was in an Uber heading to a buddy's house, hang out, pool day. Had to Uber because it was in the middle of St. Louis's absurd heat wave where we were the hottest place in the country for like 6 weeks, and my AC went out in my car. And so I was like, I'm not driving and dying in my car on the way there. And so I ordered an Uber, and it's this African guy who's my Uber driver. And immediately, like, he's already on the phone when he picks me up, and he like stops for 1 second to be like, "Do you mind if I continue to speak on the phone?" And I was like, "No, not at all." And so I just got like a 25-minute ride from this guy. By the way, he took the absolute longest way to my friend's house. I tried like at least 2 times to be like, "You want to take a right here?" We didn't take a right there. "You want to go straight?" And we turned there. We went through like neighborhoods. But this guy, he was like, must have been something of a relationship
that
guru.
would have upset me.
Well, he was interesting. He was on the phone, clearly talking to first a man for most of the car ride, and clearly this man was confiding in him about his relationship problems, and they're both Nigerian or something. And so he had all these like funny tips. Like the big tip that I remember him saying over and over was like, "You are allowing a woman in your own house to dictate to you what you do and what you do not do. This is something that to me is entire nonsense. That is why you are in this situation. This situation has happened to you because she is in your house and she is telling you and you are listening to her. You do not allow her in your house to dictate the rule." He said dictate a lot. "To dictate the rules to
I'm
you."
with him. I'm on board with him because I'm picturing a scenario where, like, yeah, you can move in with me, and she's like, "Hey, clean your shit up. Hey, get your towels off the floor. Hey, come in here. Like fucking, what are you doing? You left your dish on the table? Yeah, it's my fucking table, my fucking dish.
Yeah, he
smash.
This guy was traditional as shit,
he,
very traditional Nigerian man. He's like, "She is not meant to be in your house instructing you. You are to lead her in the house. When you are in the house, you are in charge, and so you do not listen to her. You are listen." And then he'd be like, listen to me. Listen to what I am saying to you. I say again, when she dictates to you and you listen to this, you are not taking your power as a man. Your power as a man, that is your house. That is your home. You are the head of the snake or whatever the fuck.
I like that. Stay with that.
I added that bit in.
The head of this what?
You are the head of the snake.
Oh, okay.
That's the head of the snake. And now it will become a Celia boy.
I like
you are the locomotive on this train.
If the head follows the tail, what would happen?
What would happen? No, you cannot. You are having problem in relationship because she does not respect you. You are allowing her to be in a part of the relationship that she as a woman should not be a part of. And it was like, I wish I could hear the other guy's point, like all the stuff he was complaining about. But I'd like to say, I think I learned stuff from him. I think I learned a lot about Nigerian masculinity. And I think I'm going to take that to the bank next time I'm in a serious relationship. And never allow a woman in my house to tell me how I must behave. Never.
Well, I'm with Magumbo here. All that sounds pretty good to me.
I gave him a good tip and 5 stars.
On the surface, I don't like him driving you all around town. I did not put up.
No, but like at the end of it, I was fine with like 4 extra minutes of driving to get a little more insight. Yeah,
that's fair.
But then at the end, clearly a woman was on the phone, and so I think he was like mitigating a familial conflict with someone that he knew. Like he was the guru handing out life lessons to people. And I didn't really catch much of the woman.
I would have got a second. Like, hey, you know what? Take me back. I want to hear you tell her.
Yes.
You are just a woman. It is your job to shut your trap.
Yeah, that's what it was. He like gives the guy like all this build up advice, and then for the woman, he's like, "You are a despicable witch. I am going to kill you because you step out of line in your house with your husband." So I assume it was husband and wife. They're pretty traditional over there, I think. Pretty Christian, mostly in Nigeria.
So you think you picked up a few things from them? Yeah, I think of them as Catholic or definitely Christian in some way or another.
Yeah, they're one of the more
Nigerian.
Christian, I think. Not super.
I worked with a Nigerian guy. He had like his name was like Alexander or something. He had like a very white name, and I just remember he was like really good with the ladies. He was a good looking guy. He was a big dude, and he called pussy cuckoo. He's like, I know how to please the cuckoo. The cuckoo try to get away from me sometimes. I do not let it. He's like trying to whole maneuver.
From this point
He's like,
going forward, I also call pussy cuckoo.
Yeah, he's like
little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
He's explaining how he'd like put a couple of pillows, and pile them up, and kind of put that around the lady's waist so her butt would be up. He's like, but then you grab the pillow, and the cuckoo cannot get away. He was just always talking about like really getting after some cuckoo.
And she's already woozy from the head injury. Does not have a chance to escape my Uber.
I don't like him driving me around. Again, I don't take Ubers very much, but usually when I do, it's because I'm dropping something off, like a U-Haul or something, and I know the way home. So I know if they're jerking me around. I wouldn't like that very much.
But wait, am I mistaken? I thought the price was agreed on beforehand.
For
so
Uber,
they're not jerking you around like a taxi driver, like price wise.
Yeah, no, it didn't get more expensive. It just like I would look at my app and it's like, oh, we're not arriving at 12:05 anymore. We're arriving at 12:10.
He's just inexplicably taking a different route.
Just inexplicable. He went away. I'd never considered going to my friend's house.
I hate that even more.
It's frustrating.
Like you're not even profiting from this. You're just wasting.
He was not. He was paying no attention to the drive. I could have been holding him at gunpoint in the back, and he would not have known. He was very into this conversation. I just looked at Nigeria's.
You cannot pull a gun in my car.
Yeah,
this is my car. It's disrespectful.
Yeah, you cannot dictate to me in my Uber, even if you have a gun. Like now that I looked at Nigeria's religious breakdown, it seems more likely he was Muslim because they're like 50-50, and he was.
My guy
coming in
definitely
pretty hard with the woman stuff, and that seems to go with Islam.
Yeah, but or in common sense in general, you know, like it does sound like it does sound like his girlfriend is like kind of bossing him around at his house, and I think your Uber driver was on to something.
I think he was too.
Sure.
You know that.
Sure.
Now it's George W. Bush. Now it's
this is my McConaughey accent.
Ah, God. McConaughey. Got the name right too.
Did
McConaughey?
No. That's like a swing and a miss, but like you fouled it at the coach.
Kyle, who is
two strikes on one pitch? I don't know.
Kyle, who is the easiest person to do an impression of?
Oh,
do you think?
I mean,
I want to tell
easy.
Woody too.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is very easy, especially if you just do a very basic Arnold and you
you like let that flow. Like that's super duper easy. I think Australian is just like that Crocodile Dundee. If you just quote Crocodile Dundee and you don't have to like free ball and like on the like very few accents can I like be fluent in that accent. That sounds like a silly thing to say, but you have to on the fly. Like with Russian, I just know how the words should sound, so I can make it do that. But with Australian, if everyone can say, it's a knife, like you know how to say that.
Yeah.
But if you have to like, I don't know, I think that's very easy to just say, now that's a knife with an Australian accent. So I think those two in particular are like super easy.
Yeah.
Just copying those, just copying those two actors' performances.
Would he give us a Schwarzenegger?
Hold on. Oh, that ties into what I was saying. It's like part of it is doing the accent. And part of it is what would somebody say in this accent? And you think the second part's easy, but it's not. Like ever
second part's harder.
Non-camera person, someone puts a camera in your face and asks you a question, you are frozen. Most people are terrible if you put them on camera.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I am with accents. It's like, what he said, do an Indian accent. Like, fuck, I know like 4 words and then I hit the wall. But
yeah,
so like even right now, I'm like, well, what would Schwarzenegger say? I'm gonna pump you up.
I ignore the fact that my father was a Nazi.
I ignore the fact that my father was a Nazi. Man,
in your world of accents, that's a winner. Like
Taylor, I for some reason in Texas, I got Indian food. And I was very motivated to learn the Indian accent. So there I am on. Oh, and by the way, Taylor once told me years ago that he practiced accents. And I'm like, wait, what? This is not a skill that he was just born with. This is something that he a skill that he developed and worked on. It's like when I tell those people, "Oh, you're just good at drawing. You were born that way." They're like, "No, it's practice, you dick."
Well, by practicing accents, like I mostly do just do it, but I would like make myself laugh. Like,
Well, so I'm on my motorcycle, and it's so horrible that I quickly get bored and discouraged. I'm not.
Yeah,
trying.
it's look. It's hard to make yourself sound certain ways. It's almost like trying to hit a note that you've never hit before. Sometimes because you've got your voice and your way of saying things. So like some things in particular, like just like pulling German out of my ass or pulling Indian out of me. Indian's hard. That sort of bouncer thing. I end up in a weird place. I can't.
You know what is funny about this? You know what is funny about this for me is that I've been playing Age of Empires 2, and so there are many civilizations in this game. And so me and my friends, when I play, I have been only asking for help in the accent of whatever civilization I am playing. And so recently, just because of this voice, I chose to play Hindustanis, because that is fun to me. And so when I am attacked, I will say to my friends, I will say, help, I am being attacked and I need assistance. Help, I am being attacked at the northern side of my base and I will very much like if you could send assistance.
See, that's convincing enough to like to be a Hindu gas station officer on a gas station like operator on a prank phone call. To call corporate and tell and like have some crazy thing about your Funyuns being eaten up, like that's excellent. That's so good. That's a hard one to do.
The bounciness of Indian is very much enjoyable to me. I like doing the voice.
You're light on the bounce. The whole time I was thinking you're hitting that low part of it that I've only heard from older Indians. I hear that part of it that's sort of in the back. I hear that from like I'm picturing an older Indian man with like partial baldness who's like hassling me over a car. Like I've heard it there, but like that more bounce it, that up and down sort of thing, I hear from like younger telemarketer Indians who are trying to. They're like quickly trying to rip me off like before I can hang up.
No, that the youth is speaking not in the correct manner. Like that it's so fucking fun. Like I think Indian is like one of the easier ones. I can't do British to save my life because it just becomes Australian. But Indian because it's so bouncy.
British is like there are at least 3 or 4 distinctive different British accents. We often try to imitate that very posh, like Alfred the Butler sort of thing. And that doesn't even exist there outside of like, it might not exist there at all.
A couple of weeks or months ago, you guys were mocking English accents who were from like blocks away.
yeah. And they're disgusting. Like Patty.
Boy, brother, what are you from? East Chester? Yeah. Oh, you're not even fucking English.
I'm fucking you, man.
I'm a fan of Manchester City. I'm a fan of Manchester United. they hate each other. Isn't that hilarious? We have to throw a little shade at the UK. Their country's so small, they have to have like all these teams in the same place. Like,
yeah,
they're like big rivalries between North Chestertonshire and East Chestertonshire, like ferocious rivalries that they see as irreconcilable. Like,
meanwhile, like that's how far we go to the grocery store.
yeah, like it is funny. It's like, and I'm the most American of that. I'm a dude from Missouri. I'm from the Midwest. I'm from the type of people who are like, the beach is only 15 hours away. Let's drive. Like that's what Midwest people are like. Like if we could, dude, I could thoughtlessly drive across all of Europe. Like all of
absolutely. No, I've done it. I have been sitting in my house at 7, 8, 9 p.m. and just decided I'm gonna drive to Florida or Illinois tonight. And just start getting ready. Like I've done it multiple times for my whole life. I was like 24 or something like that. I just drove to like southern Florida that night with no preparation. Like my cards were getting fucking declined the whole way. Like through the night.
You couldn't get a Red Bull and
I bought enough Monster like locally because I knew it was gonna be morning before I could get the bank on the phone.
But before we wrap, I just if you ever want to work on accents, you are welcome to join me and my friends in Age of Empires 2, where you will only you are only allowed to communicate in an accent of the civilization that you have chosen. So if you are trying, you can do it, you know. And because it is fun, I will suggest you pick Hindustani as well. There's a couple Indian civs, and so me and my buddy, he can't really do the voice, but he was like, "Are you like he can't really do the voice, but like we made it because we were allied against, and he picked an Indian civ, and I did, and so I'd be like, brother, are you ready to attack the opponent's at their base?" And he'd be like, "That is not what I am trying to do." Like, because he can't really do the voice. And so I'm like, "Well, are you a spy? You do not sound Indian. I do not trust you." Like, that kind of,
Is
it's
there
fun.
a Russian civilization? Because
There is.
That was
There's
easy to fall back
there's
on.
this. They're called the Slavs, and they actually have the Ukraine emblem on them. The Slavs, they're a pretty solid infantry civ. I think they're fun. So if you are looking for practice, it is a wonderful way.
Okay.